We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some breaking news. There's been reports all over the area of something crazy going on, something big. People's homes, their minds even, are being taken over by something called, what is it they're calling it? They're calling it Bad Movie Debate.
What up, nerds? It's Jacob Babb with Bad Movie Debate. We're back with another classic debate episode. Well, you know, we're not doing anything weird. You know, we're not doing any, Council of Cinema or like head-to-heads or any bullshit like that. This is just a, is it bad, yes or no? What do we think kind of an episode. And tonight I have... Say your name.
It's Austin. Austin Babb.
Wow.
I have a new last name now.
That's right. This is Austin Piercy, formerly known as the podcast guest, formerly known as Austin Piercy. This is my wife. My wife is on the podcast.
Yes, she is.
We've been together a very long time. You were basically already my wife, but you, my life and my wife. I almost had like a, slip of the tongue. But you're both of those things. But the good news is or the different news is you actually have changed your last name officially on the papers. Like,
got the papers.
Yeah,
got a new ID, even with work.
Got a new ID. Got a new social security card.
Now I am Miss Babb, or as the kids say, Babs, or Babb, which didn't love that one.
Yeah, which is crazy that, like, you said that and you're like, they called me Babs. And I was like, yeah, I've been living with this name for 29 years. They need to be more clever. I thought they're Gen Alpha now, right? Like, they're should be...
8.
Yeah, so they're like Gen Alpha. They're part of Gen Alpha and stuff. Like,
he wasn't even doing it to be mean.
Exactly. Yeah, but it hurts,
He was just like, oh, wait, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
No, but it doesn't feel good, though, right? Because someone can just do that if they wanted to. Like,
I think I'm just going to lean into it.
No, you should, you need to lean into what your teacher friends are doing. Like, the rest of your, coworkers and stuff are doing. Babs, as in Babs, Barbra Streisand, because, like, that's goated. Like, Babs, like...
It's just me, Babs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's dope. Like, that's good. So, anyway, it's Austin Piercy Babb. It's Babb. That's Austin Babb now. Whatever. You know who she is. You know who she is. She did the John Tucker episode.
And I won.
And the DCOM episode.
Which I also won.
Yeah. It's
just
almost
saying,
like...
I'm undefeated.
It's almost like there's a bias amongst the room between the host and this particular guest.
What, that thinks I'm always right?
It's almost like I'm forced to think you're always right. And now, because of this ring on my finger, I'm legally obligated to always consider you correct. Or it's bad news for me, right? At least that's what sitcoms have taught me.
There you go.
All right, so here we are. But we're not talking about sitcoms today, are we?
Nope.
That's right. Good. Thank God. Because I don't have anything prepared for that. We are talking about so Austin, if it hasn't been notified to you in the past or isn't clear from how we've been talking about your students and your teacher co-workers and stuff, Austin is a teacher, and we are about to be back in the school year, which is good news for me, who works at a retail store, and bad news for her, who's a teacher, because she has to go back to work. But I also don't have to deal with children in my retail store all the time, which is great.
I get to deal with them.
You get to deal with them, which is where they belong, getting smarter and better, and not destroying the store I work in, making me have to stay late to clean it up. So I'm elated about this news that summer for kids is almost over. Bummer for you. You'll be okay. So we're going to do a movie that is very specifically like about being in... This movie is specifically middle school. Or junior high, 7th grade.
Junior high.
Because it's a big deal. He's like, first day of 7th grade. If you already know what the movie is based on that, well, I guess it's in the title, so that's not that impressive. Never mind. Anyway, we're doing Max Keeble's Big Move. And if you don't know it, just fucking turn this off and go watch it.
Look it up.
You know it. You've
Genre
seen
was school movies. Like movies that involve a school setting.
We're doing movies like... Yeah, I was like, I need an episode, babe. What do you want to do, wifey? because we're married now. Since she was on last, we've been married. That's when everybody know. And she was like, "Oh, we could do one that's like about school in some fashion and stuff." And we landed on Max Keeble's Big Move. Part of the problem with this one, though, this movie, was specifically, you thought this movie was Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Well, they both had food fights. They both had kids in school, and they both had like a middle school boy as the main character.
Yes, as do most of this specific genre of movie does. And we were starting to watch it earlier tonight, and you were like, I'm convinced that I was completely wrong and thought this movie was Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
I think I had combined them.
I am in for a surprise for what happens here. Did you remember anything from the movie?
The food fight.
Okay, besides the fucking food fight?
No.
Okay. So, as far as we know, Austin had never seen this movie before.
No, I definitely had.
Okay, so she had at least once and remembered the name of it enough to be like, I know that movie, and hence why we are now talking about it. But we'll get into our thoughts about it and everything. So obviously, like we said, this is a movie about being in school and some, like, the main setting is a school, and like the plot is relative to being in a school in some way. So that's like what our genre is, like a school related movie. My top 5 is mostly high school. I think you said yours was similar to that.
They're all high school. What was that?
Oh, some weird notification on my phone. It's fine.
Wow.
I didn't turn
Party
it on.
foul.
Silent. Please turn your phones on silence and look for your nearest exit. Please enjoy the following presentation at AMC theaters. That's what they say. And I did not do that. I didn't turn my phone on silent for this, which is embarrassing for me. I usually always make sure I do that. Anyway, the moon is rising right now, or Saturn.
Okay. Let's get back on track.
Oh,
get
the
off your
ISS
phone.
was flying over right now, so that's interesting. Anyway.
ISS.
International Space Station?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
in school suspension? Oh.
No. Okay, back to schools. What are your fucking top 5 school-related movies, Austin? Austin Lee?
Okay. So I Googled school movies, and a bunch of them came up, and I pretty much loved all of them.
Yeah.
And so having to choose
it's a popular setting.
Was difficult. But okay, we've got, in no particular order, because I didn't take the time to rate them.
I never do it either. Totally fine.
Anyways, in no particular order, we've got Mean Girls. We've got 21 Jump Street, She's the Man, Easy A, Sleepover, which I recently watched for the first time.
The fuck is Sleepover?
It is about, they're actually in middle school. So this one, that could count as a middle school one.
Okay, great, but like, what is that? I've never heard, I don't think I've heard of this.
So we watched it at Bachelorette party, which was super fun and relevant.
Shout out Cassidy.
Yeah, we love you. But it's about, there's like 2 cliques of girls, right? And they're both having separate sleepovers. There's like the popular girls and then the main girls.
When did
they go
out?
on these scavenger 2000s.
Oh, so this is like an older movie.
Yeah, it's older. I had never seen it.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
It was so fun. It was so good. They did a little scavenger hunt where they had to do all these ridiculous things, and then it ended at the school dance.
And like the not cool girls.
Yeah, and they were competing for a spot at the lunch table for 9th grade. Like a good lunch table spot, and the losers had to eat by the dumpster. Spoiler alert. The
cool
main
girls
characters won,
yeah,
obviously.
The cool girls
and
lose.
she gets the guy, and it's all good in the end.
Very typical,
and Evan Peters is in that movie as like a little nerdy skater boy, but he's so cute.
So this is pre-American Horror Story?
Yes, he's a middle schooler.
Oh, damn. Okay,
he's young.
Okay, bitch, I didn't know.
I said it was at middle school. Yeah,
I didn't know he was one of the kids. He could have been somebody else.
Anyways,
damn,
we had also the last one I put High School Musical.
Just get yelled at a lot.
Shh. High School Musical 2, because I like that one better than the first, even though it's not as set in a high school setting, but it still counts.
No, but they're in high school and it's important to their lives, so it's kind of.
They're getting summer jobs.
I'm gonna go on a rant real quick.
My God.
Just a very quick little rant. It's literally like just a couple sentences. High School Musical 2 is better than High School Musical 1 for 2 reasons. One, it's not just Romeo and Juliet, which we all know and have heard the fucking story multiple times forever. We don't need to hear it anymore, especially in a musical setting like that. Like, that's annoying to me. Like, Shakespeare musicals are annoying. Just do the plays as they were. 2, the songs are better in
We're
High School
all
Musical
in
2. Nope,
this
that's the number
together.
1.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that song sucks compared to some of
Classic.
the bangers in 2. That's the one where they're in the kitchen. Bing, 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 bing.
We gotta work this out.
And stop. We can't sing anymore. Disney will we'll shut this down. If they somehow hear this, that's their IP. We can't
It
sing
also
anymore.
gave us Zac Efron Bet on It, which...
Yeah, Bet on It. That was the
Classic.
other one I was thinking of. Is the kitchen one and Bet on It are like the 2 best. That's the best thing music-wise that came from High School Musical. So High School Musical 2 is better than High School Musical 1. At me, and I probably won't respond, because if you think High School Musical 1's better, I don't care.
Anyways.
What are the rest of your movies?
That was all 5 of them. Actually, I think I named 6.
What's your 6th one? Tell me.
No, that was the 6th one, but I have some honorable mentions.
Okay, so you named
I've
6
got, like,
for your
10.
5, and then you got... Well, fucking just do it. I don't
We
give a
got
fuck.
Clueless.
Great,
John
phenomenal.
Tucker Must Die, obviously, throwback to first episode.
Yeah, we know she likes that one.
And then, so I put Booksmart on here, which I have forgotten about that movie.
Booksmart's
until,
good. It's not...
Hello.
Superbad.
I had forgotten about that movie until I was Googling movies about school. And so that's like the girl version of Superbad, which both are great and both deserve a spot on the list. But they're in the honorable mentions.
Booksmart's good. Superbad's better.
Yeah, well, it's the original, so.
Well, I mean, it has nothing to do with whether one's first or not. Like, Superbad is just written...
All right, give me your list.
A better written movie and stuff. I'm not saying I don't like it. I liked Booksmart and stuff. Just Superbad.
Okay, what are your top 5?
My top
Or
5...
10.
My top 5, because I only did 5, because I'm not psychotic. My wife is insane. This first one's going to really make you upset.
Okay, go for it.
Because I know how much you hate this movie.
No,
Because
I
of
don't
the
hate
actress.
it. I don't hate it. I know what
sure?
you're going to say.
10 Things I Hate About You.
It's a great movie.
It's a phenomenal
It's a great movie,
movie.
and Heath Ledger is like the hottest he's ever been.
is the...
But she annoys me, and that's the only thing that I
But it's
dislike
not-
about the movie.
But is it the character or the actress? Is the
Maybe
actress.
both.
I think it's the actress.
Maybe.
You've said. I feel like you've said the actress before.
Maybe.
I don't know. And like, which is insane because she's perfectly fine in that movie.
Mm.
She does exactly what she was hired to do. She's not like outstanding.
She got a bad attitude,
you
and I don't
know?
like it.
That's her fucking character. Her character has a bad attitude. It's 10 Things I Hate About You.
Then I don't like her character.
You're supposed to not like her character till the end. And then she flashes the teacher or
Yeah.
whatever, and that makes her run away and stuff. Because she falls in love with Heath Ledger, which is insane. Because it's like, how could you not just immediately fall in love with him?
True.
But that's a casting problem, not a character problem. Whatever. So that one is way up there. I've also previously done movies that are set in high school, and I'm trying not to repeat as much as I can when I do these genre movies, just to illustrate how many movies I've seen. I've seen a lot of movies.
Aw.
I do a movie podcast,
Weird
Austin.
flex.
I do a movie podcast. I need to let the people know that I've seen more than just like 10 movies. Like, oh yeah, we're doing a sci-fi movie, Alien, The Thing, Star Wars. Like, I can't just keep saying the same ones. You know what I mean?
All right, go for it.
Like, I get different ones in there. Jesus. God. Again,
Hard audience.
This is being married.
Mm-hmm.
Your audience is always hard. It's
Yep.
always judging you. Mean Girls. On your list as
There
well.
we go.
Because Mean Girls is like
Oh, yeah. So good.
the fucking like I don't think anybody who listens to this podcast who is our age is gonna say Mean Girls is bad. The new one's shit.
You haven't even seen it.
Why would I? Because they lied to me and said it wasn't a musical, but it
It's
was.
definitely a musical. I
Which
watched
is
it
a
with
lie. With your
with Jolene, my
with
grandmother.
Joe and your grandma.
She fell asleep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So did I.
Okay. So y'all have a lot in common. You liked the movie and you also fell asleep.
It
at the
was
same
okay.
time.
It was okay. It was
It's-
basically the same thing as the first one, but
Yeah, but it had like songs and
In the
shit.
musical
It doesn't
version, yeah.
need songs and
no,
shit.
it doesn't.
Exactly. That's
It
why it's
does.
like we need that rapping scene where Amy Poehler and Tina Fey taught that kid how to rap.
Oh,
They taught him
The
how to
math guy?
rap. Yeah,
Yeah.
they taught him how to rap. That's how.
what's his name? Kenny G.
Yeah, Kenny G. Like
Kevin G.
Kenny G is an actual artist. Like he does like sexy like woodwind music and stuff. Like
sexy woodwind. Okay.
Yeah, look him up. We'll play him. Wink.
Oh my god.
But the point is they Amy Poehler and Tina Fey taught him like the cadence of rapping and stuff, so he could like do his like what's called talent show.
Yeah,
like,
no, I remember.
And stuff. Yeah, they taught him that. Like that's insane because like it's just so funny. Anyway, so remember what I said about how I wasn't gonna repeat, but I was looking for one that was like in middle school specifically because this one's junior high, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
Alley Cat Strike.
Oh, shouts out.
Alley Cat Strike. Everybody that I made watch Alley Cat Strike who has watched Alley Cat Strike since that episode has been like, how could I have never known?
It's great. It's wholesome.
If everybody had seen that movie when I saw that movie as a child, because it was like one of those ones where it's like, you know, like Harry Potter Weekend, where like, I don't like that fourth Harry Potter movie.
Goblet of Fire?
I don't like Goblet of Fire.
They overplayed it on ABC Family.
Harry Potter Weekend. R.I.P. ABC Family. It's Freeform now. Same channel, but they rebranded. Yeah, it's dumb as fuck.
No, I know they did that years ago.
This is why we don't have cable. That's why.
Jacob, we're showing our age.
No, it's fine. We don't have cable, so we're still hip. We're still cool. Who has cable? Just fucking boomers, dude. Not us. But anyway, in ABC Family Times, when they would do Harry Potter Weekend, every single time I was able to tune in, it was just Goblet of Fire. And I would sit there and watch it, of course. I was like, of course I'm going to just watch it. So, like, I'm over it and everything. So, like, I don't know. Alley Cat Strike, like, if you had seen this back then, like, seen as many times as I did, because I would always see this on Disney Channel. Like, it was whenever I would
that's how Harry
in,
Potter is related.
Yeah, this is how it relates. And complete the circle.
Like, where are you going with this?
Every time I would turn on Disney Channel and they were playing, like, a movie night, it was more often than not Alley Cat Strike versus, like, Phantom of the Megaplex, or, like, it was all High School Musical after that came out, but this came out before it. And it was, like, they were doing, like, the classic ones. And then they would only do Halloween Town.
Oh, love it.
During Halloween, so this was, like, an evergreen one. So I would see it all the time. So it's one of the best. If you still haven't watched it, fucking pull your head out of your ass.
It's a fall movie.
It's also got Kylie Coco in it, Kaylee Coco in it, and she's like one of the biggest actors ever because of Big Bang Theory, which is a show that sucks, but good for her.
All right, next movie.
Breakfast Club. I haven't talked about that. Breakfast Club. It's classic. It's so fucking good. Kids' Attention. Fucking that song. They in Community when they're dancing with the pizza guy. Like that's all a reference.
It's referenced in so many things.
Because it's iconic.
True.
It's
true.
So good. True. Like, and then the fucking fist pump at the end and stuff. That song. They had a song, lost like the saved data or something to the song. It's like something like that. They made the song at the last second.
No, it's good.
And, like, it's, like, the perfect song for that moment. Because they had, like, a song that they were working on or something happened. They lost it. They couldn't do it. Something, whatever. And then another decom. Because I was like, fuck it, I'll throw another one in here. Because I actually did really like this movie growing up. The 13th Year.
We tried to watch that.
Boy.
Jacob, we tried to watch that, and neither of us could get through it.
No, I didn't get through it because you fell asleep, and I was like, I'm not watching this without you. It wasn't out of like, I'm only watching this because you want to watch this, and then you fell asleep, so I'm turning it off. It was we said we were going to watch the 13th Year together, and you fell asleep, and then every time I was like...
That doesn't have to do with school, though. That's about a boy becoming a mermaid.
It's the 13th year. He's 13 years old. He's on the swim team in his fucking school.
Okay.
And the swim team thing is very relevant to the plot of the story.
All right, I'll give it to you.
He figures out that he's a fucking mermaid.
Merman.
A mer person. Don't cancel me. I'm not big enough to get canceled. It doesn't matter. And if I am ever, I'll delete this episode, so it won't matter.
Right.
Because I'm probably going to lose the episode, too. You know how Austin cheats.
Oh, wow. What a confident attitude.
I said you know how Austin cheats, is what I had said. Anyway. Max Keeble's Big Move. What a doozy of a movie. So you like it?
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a good movie. I will argue the positive.
So she'll be the positive because she loves that. It's her new favorite movie for some reason.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, so she... All right, so we're already poking holes in her opinion about it. We're off to a good start.
I didn't fall asleep.
Which is
step one.
Shocking. And we started it after 7 o'clock. We started a movie at 7:30 and Austin Lee didn't fall asleep. That means it must be pretty good. So
you heard it here first.
You know, so like point counterpoint, we're still neutral. Let's go over these scores. Rotten Tomatoes. Critics. 29%.
Woo!
That's rough. It's better than other ones that I've
Starting
done.
off strong.
It's better than other ones that I've done, which is shocking.
29.
Yeah.
What's the audience score?
38.
Oh.
Yeah, really low still.
Did him dirty.
No. It's just... Okay, we'll talk about it. This is the most shocking one. IMDb. 5.4. IMDb...
5%?
5.4 out of 10.
Oh, so like 54%.
Sure. But they usually are in like the... IMDb is usually right in the middle at like 6.5 plus or minus 0.4.
Sure.
Like the good ones are like 8.9. Like getting in like a 9 on a movie on IMDb
so 5 is really
crazy.
bad.
So a 5 is well below average. Because
Gotcha.
like a 6.4 or 6.5 is average for... Even though it's out of 10, most like stuff is mid-range and stuff. 5.4 IMDb is one of the lower IMDb scores I've gotten from.
All right.
This. We've had lower Rotten Tomatoes critic scores on stuff.
Yeah.
Like we've had like a 13 or 14. I don't remember the movie, but if you remember the movie, message me on Instagram and I'll buy you a movie ticket. If you tell me exactly which movie that I've done before, that is lower than 29% that I'm referencing. Metacritic 40. So their critics is 40.
Okay. So
a lot more love than 29 for their critics, like that they use on there. And then the user score, insanely, somehow, is 7.1.
Wait.
So they're out of 10. So the user score... So
you just said it
Metacritic-
was 40%.
Yeah, Metacritic is like out of 100 is like a percentage for the critics, but then their user score is like an out of 10. So it's the same thing.
Stupid.
It's Metacritic. They're kind of pretentious over there. It's just
Stupid.
How they... Okay. Please don't cancel me. I'm trying to do what I love for a living here, and my wife is trying to ruin everything for me. Jesus. So 40%, let's say, for Metacritic, and then 71%.
All right.
If that makes it easier for you to understand. You don't teach math anymore, right?
No.
So yeah, so if it's easier for you to understand, it's like that. The point is, 71%, 7.1 out of 10 user score on Metacritic is insane. That's one of the higher ones I've seen.
Okay.
And it's like, why?
I'll tell you why. Listen to the rest of this episode.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see what some critics had to say specifically. So, we'll start with the good, as we always do here. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we just do good and bad. The ugly is the discussion afterwards, let's say, because it's chaotic. So let's see. What is her name? Eleanor Ringel Carter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Fancy.
Says, quote, an entertaining and often quite amusing kid flick with good acting and a good message. End quote.
I agree.
About which part?
All of the above.
Okay. So we'll just move right on to the bad quote, I guess.
Were we supposed to talk about it?
I just, if you had any opinions, you said
I
I
agree
agree with all the above. Okay. So the bad, this is Lawrence von Gelder for the New York Times, said, quote, this clunky juvenile comedy lurches among multiple storylines without fully realizing the comic potential of any.
Wow, this guy's talk about pretentious. Tries to use big words.
It's the
clunky.
It's the new. Okay, so hold on.
What was the other one?
Time out. First of all, it's the New York Times. It's gonna be pretentious. Second of all, clunky is a pretentious word.
Yeah, the way he's using it.
That's a big word?
Because it don't make no sense.
What do you mean? It's a clunk. The story is clunky.
The story is clunky?
Yeah, that is a totally normal sentence. This story is clunky.
Meaning it doesn't flow and it just like, okay.
It's like, I'm going to use the word incorrectly. It's clunked up.
Clunked up.
Like, that would be that would be a wrong way to use the word.
Okay.
My man Lawrence here used it correctly.
I just had to attack him because he's talking shit about my movie, so.
Okay, so did you want to attack him maybe for the word juvenile or
that was the next
lurches?
One. Lurches was the one I was thinking
That's
of.
the word you
Very
were thinking
unnecessary.
Of. Great. Lurches describes is like a word
I know what that means.
What does it mean then?
Read it in the sentence again.
No.
Well, lurches, I think I'm thinking lurking.
Lurches forward.
Moves forward.
Yeah, but
jumps forward.
Yeah, but
bends forward.
Yes, but lurch is specifically has like a
jarring movement.
As a jarring, clunky, not great to look at, weird way of moving forward is what that means.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So you don't teach math. You clearly don't teach English. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I do, and I don't teach them words like lurches and clunking.
Well, they're in 3rd grade. Is that a thing? Do they? I don't think they would need to know those words.
I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. All right. So what? So that's all the reviews and the scores and our tops.
What do you think about the bad review? Do you agree with it? Do you have any comments?
I agree.
Do you think it's clunky?
I do agree with it that it is kind of clunky because it is like the main thing is like just to get away from the word clunky because you're gonna get the verbal synesthesia or whatever the fuck it's called where you can't like the word sounds
clunky.
Weird in your mouth. Yeah, stop. I don't want to get that where it sounds weird in your mouth and like you're like is it even a word anymore? The main thing about that review is there's a lot of like threads that start that could have a comic payoff. Like it'd be like a comedic, like funny, like thing and stuff that just kind of like.
Like what?
I mean, like half the movie. Like there's nothing that really pays off. I mean, the only thing that really pays off, in my opinion, is the what's it called? The spray with the pheromones. That's the only one that like really pays off. It just like it's like. Most of the movie is like starting bits and we only get like a couple. We only get like the pheromones and then the rest of it is like narrative plot. Like they open a lot of comedic doors for adults that are watching the movie because they have kids in 2001 and they took them to see a fucking Disney movie, you know, and stuff, and then they like just kind of bypass them. There's not really any like real resolution to the ice cream man.
No, because he's still that's the only thing that stayed consistent.
Yeah, and like that's like
the ice cream man is just going to be his nemesis. He's got to have a nemesis.
See, no, he doesn't.
He's in middle school.
Okay, no, an adult man like Jason, like because he.
Okay, when you say it that way, it sounds weird.
Yeah, okay, so I'm saying it like any rational person would, like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the point. It's like that's kind of funny, but like it doesn't get like a resolution. Like, and it's like it was kind of played out like in a way that wasn't like.
He was never like the bad guy. Like he was just annoying.
I mean, yeah. Again, it's like I understand that, but like.
And just always around.
But
like he never needed to be destroyed.
I mean, sure, but well, it wasn't about being destroyed. It was about like opening revenues of like comedic.
No, it was about destroying the enemies. They're his enemies.
Is this D&D? What are you talking about? You wanted this 7th grader to murder people?
No, when I say destroy, I mean take down.
Isn't that the lesson though? And isn't that what you liked about it?
What?
Is that you're not supposed to just hit and run? You're supposed to like stand up and like
we'll
get cool?
there. We'll get there.
Okay, so I'm just saying you're already contradicting yourself. Foreshadowing, Austin's contradicting herself by the time she's like, I really love the message, which was the opposite of what you're saying.
No, that's
right
part
now.
of what makes it fun is that he has these like these bad guys, quote, that are like so very obviously bad guys that he's like, oh, I have to like do this and this and this to get them back. But then really I mean,
really what?
well, when we get to the end of the movie, he'll realize that he didn't have to do all those things, but it's part of the fun of the movie to watch it play out.
Exactly, but there's just like comedic things that are like, we just never really, like, it's just like, it's opening a lot of doors and then just leaving them open. There's a lot of that.
You still never said, like, what?
I literally just told you. I just told you one.
The Ice Cream Man?
Yes, I mean, that's one. The only one that finishes is the spray. It's the only one where that actually sticks through the entire movie. That is, like, relevant to the entire plot. If you're gonna have a movie and you want to have a tight movie that has like comedic stuff and everything like that,
like all of their pranks. That's the only prank that like is continuous through the movie.
It's like, that's a quick hit and run and stuff. And like, but like, so like they overload it with so many pranks.
That's what makes it fun.
No, they overload it with so many.
They're in middle school, Jacob. What do you expect from them?
He does like 100,000 pranks in 4 days. Like,
iconic.
I guess.
Anyways,
we're not debating
we'll move on.
whether if this was real, if it would be iconic or not. Of course it would be iconic. That's the coolest kid in school. No doubt. Max Keeble, I want him to be my friend. No doubt. Fuck Little Romeo. I want to be friends with Max Keeble. Little Romeo is in this movie. If you don't remember Little Romeo, look him up. You'll remember. You will remember. Not
we also
Little Bow
got
Wow,
some...
Not Little Bow Wow. Little Romeo.
We got some other cameos. We got Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk, at the very beginning, he had shot, not with ice cream, by the ice cream
hit with
man
ice cream.
in a dream sequence thing, which is why he's there. And then, who was the other one? There was another one.
Well, there was Eddie from That's So Raven, but he's like an actual character. And then
Eddie
Josh
from That's
Peck
So Raven. And then Josh Peck is his fat friend, which is literally what his name should have been. What's the name of the character?
I couldn't tell you.
His name is Robe. They call him Robe. They say his name at the very beginning.
Oh, no.
And they're like, but we just call him Robe. And he's only referred to as Robe by everyone, including the teachers. They say kid with the robe is the only time he's referred to by an adult. We'll talk about how much I hate that character. Not Josh Peck, the character. In a second. I want to take a step back because you just jumped into attacking me.
I'm sorry.
I like to do this little thing. What's something you don't like about the movie? And I'll say something I do like about the movie. You've been on the show. You've heard how these are recorded. Let me do my thing. People like structure.
I just got so ahead of myself.
I know we do a bunch of like off the dome, like flowing conversation and stuff here, but there is a little bit of structure.
Anyways,
That's the last part of the structure.
I was gonna
say something you don't like. I'll say something I do like.
I was gonna say you mentioned Josh Peck's character and how he was like a fat friend and like that was basically his only like contribution to the story. They could have done that. Like he's like a little fat boy who eats a lot and like wears a robe all the time.
Josh Peck was hired for this role because he was fat when he was younger and he's a good actor. Simple as that.
Yeah. That part I was like, that's just one of those stereotypes that they felt like they needed to play into. I don't think that was one part that I didn't care for.
It's insane.
It didn't make the movie any better.
It does not add anything to the movie. The fact that he has a fat, weird friend.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it.
He can be weird without being fat.
He can be weird without being fat, but it's 2001. They're clearly making him his weird friend and fat.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stereotypes in this movie.
Tons of stereotypes.
Like, really play on it big.
Of course.
In like a fun way though.
It's Disney in 2001.
Except that one.
It's Disney in 2001. Of course, all the stereotypes are like very on the nose and very apparent and very like, you know, obviously like looking back like with a modern scope, it's like this isn't great, but it's just like so, I remember even being, well, I mean, maybe I was a little biased as a fat kid. It was just annoying being like, I'm not weird because I'm fat. You know what I mean? Like, fat doesn't make me weird. I'm just weird. Like, I just am into weird stuff. I don't eat food off the floor. I don't drink colas that are rolling on the bus, like, and stuff. And, like, I don't literally pick off spaghetti from my friend who is put into a dumpster and try to put it in my mouth and I have to have somebody tell me to stop.
Yeah.
Which is literally something that happens in this fucking movie. Like,
Yeah, so that's why
I was just weird and fat. I wasn't weird because I was fat, or I wasn't fat because I was weird. But like that's all this character is, and it's annoying, especially because Josh Peck, as we all know, is a great actor. Drake and Josh, great show.
Anyway, so thank you for explaining my point. Why
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I thought that was one part that I didn't care for in the movie. It didn't really add anything to it.
I specifically told you while we were watching how much I hated that character.
No, yeah, I had already written it down in my notes.
Wow. Okay, so point
You know,
Auston.
I was actually taking notes.
Well, she wrote it first, so I guess it's the real
and
shit.
I said it first. But I also
We're gonna fight.
obviously hated the principal, but that's like the whole point. And like all of the teachers, I'm like, you guys are doing such a terrible job.
Except for that fine ass fucking science teacher. God damn,
she didn't do anything. She was just there. But like any teacher who had
she
anything,
was hot as fuck.
any teacher who had anything to say, just like bad reputation for all us teachers out there, except for the janitor. Shouts out to him because he was cool.
Yeah, janitor was cool as fuck. He was the only person who was normal as fuck. We'll get to your quotes. You specifically wrote down.
I had a quote from him. It was a good one.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it because it's near the end of the movie. We're gonna kind of flow through the movie.
What did you like about the movie?
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is the thing that stuck with me throughout was since it's a Disney movie, but it's not a DCOM. It was a theatrical release, so they had a little bit more money to spend on the music. The pop punk fucking bangers,
hell yeah,
that were playing the entire time was so 2001 in the best way. You know, you got my wife, my girl, her favorite Sugar Ray up in that bitch during the food fight scene. She was going off. We were watching it and she was like, hell yeah. She went crazy during that scene, dude.
Crazy.
She loves food fights and she loves Sugar Ray. So, like, she was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. That's a direct quote. No one else was there, so you can't
overly
tell me.
Dramatic.
Am I speaking in hyperbole? Is this hyperbole? What I'm saying right
hyperbole.
now? You think? Mm-hmm. No one else was there except for Bill.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bill is the skeleton.
Bill's
that comes out for Halloween decorations.
He stays up in here. He's sitting right behind us.
Weirdo. Anyways, I completely agree, and I think it was a banging soundtrack, and it kept you
slaps,
into the movie and engaged the whole time. Just when you might doze off, you're like, oh, hell yeah.
The pop punk did what pop punk does. It keeps you upbeat and focused, you know, and
Loved
stuff.
it.
At least that's what pop punk has always done for me.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So now that we're actually into the discussion, after you rudely yelled at me about other stuff, tried to put me on the spot, tried to put me on blast.
Gotta call you out.
What?
I said, gotta call you out.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about specifically?
Why this movie is so good and why I liked it and why I would be arguing it's a good movie.
Okay, so go to your fucking notes and tell me something about it.
Yeah. So first of all, this isn't in the notes, but this is just why I picked the movie.
Oh god, she's going off script. Oh god, we're in some crazy shit.
Oh my god, I haven't looked at my notes this whole time.
Buckle up, Bill. Here we go.
I picked this movie because for some reason we were thinking
you.
Oh, back to what?
You were thinking that it was Eddie's $1 Million.
No, okay.
No, you said we.
Shut up.
No, like was it the royal we, the editorial? Was it that kind of a we?
We were saying, let's do a back to school movie.
Right.
And so I said, Max Keeble's big move. And yeah, I may have thought it was Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. I didn't really remember at the time either of them specifically. I think I maybe combined the two in my head or something. I don't know. But all I remembered with Max Keeble's big move is that it was a great movie and that I had like fond memories enough that I like remembered it in my head from watching it as a kid to be like, oh yeah, I love that movie. And also that there was a awesome food fight. And I am a sucker for food fight scenes. So, I had to love this movie. What?
I have my hand up.
Thank you for not interrupting.
Yeah, I want to be in the classroom. I wasn't a problem student. I was a decent student, but that's neither here nor there at this point. My question is a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
One, do you think you mixed up these movies because the only scenes you remember from movies from when you were a child was food fight scenes because you're psychotic and you love chaos?
I don't know. I don't know if Eddie's $1 Million...
I need more than... I don't know. Like,
I really don't know. I don't know if Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off has
I remember we were
food fight
driving
scene.
to Target on Saturday or Monday, I think. We were driving to Target. We were talking about doing this episode, what maybe we should do. And you were like, yeah. And he's like, wants to play baseball, and like, but he wants to cook and stuff. And I was like...
No, you said that.
Oh, okay, fine. Whatever. The point still stands. I was saying that, and you were like... Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off? That's not Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about that? And you're like, that's Max Keeble's big move. And I was like, no, it's not. That is Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Because the big thing at the end, he's in the cook-off. His dad's finally proud of him and accepts him not being a fucking manly man and playing baseball, but being a cook. Super fucking gender role oriented movie, by the way. And he, like, his big thing was... he can't crack an egg with one hand and stuff. And then, like, in the cook-off, he cracks with one hand. It's, like, a big deal for him. I can't do it. It is impressive. I will say, for me, personally, it's impressive. But that's neither here or there. But you were like, no, that's Max Keeble's big move. And I was like, no, the fuck it's not. And you were like, I was like, what do these movies have in common? And you said,
Max,
food fights.
Eddie.
You said there's kids, and
Middle
there's
school.
food fights, and they're... children, which is different than the word kids, so that's another similarity. Like, yeah, it's only the food fights. So that was my first question. So I'm gonna go with you're just an agent of chaos and you just love the chaos of it.
Sure.
Second question is, or second part of the first question, twofold question, is as a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So you said earlier you're not in the lunchroom when they have lunch.
No.
Right, you're eating.
No, we get to eat lunch.
You're scarfing
like with
your
the teachers.
own lunch down as quickly as you can.
We get like 15 minutes to eat our own lunch.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
If it's a good day.
It's a problem. Education reform, please.
Oh my god.
That's all I'm gonna say. I won't get political about education. It's fine. But I will hit this. I will ask you this hard-hitting question.
Okay, I'm ready.
If you are eating your lunch and doing your lessons and doing most of your work where you're trying to eat and work at the same time,
no, I don't do that.
15 minutes. Wink. I'm trying to illustrate a point here.
I don't eat and work anymore.
I'm trying to illustrate a point here. While you're trying to work and also eat within 5 minutes, because that's all you get as a teacher, because you were underappreciated in this country. And you get paid even less than the time you have to eat lunch. If you heard that there was a food fight going on, which is close to your classroom, it's just
sort of.
It's just a turn. It's just a left.
It's a small school.
It's a left, and then it's like right over there. Like, would you go? Would you rush? I know you would. I feel like you would have to. You're obligated to rush towards there to do your job, which would be to contain it. If you could help contain it, because you have respect amongst your students, you have classroom discipline. You know what I mean? Like you know, like teacher. You know, they're like, oh, a teacher's telling me to stop. But since you love these scenes so much, I'm asking, would you rush down there and pick up a plate of mashed potatoes and throw it at the closest kid to you, or like get some like mustard and ketchup and start fucking shooting kids at point blank range? Like, what would you do? Would you get in there and go full Rambo, like trying to like hit as many people as you could, or would you do what should be your job and be like whoa, hey, stop this down, the fun police are here, aka teachers, am I right, guys?
Oh, okay.
So what would you do?
So here's the thing. I do not
think... It's not a good way to start off the conversation.
No.
Answer. So here's the thing.
No. I do not... I could never see myself being put into that situation because I don't think that food fights are actually... I mean, I've never heard of one actually happening ever in like a realistic setting.
Stop.
I couldn't see it happening at our school.
No, stop. I didn't ask you if it's possible that food fights are just a made-up invention for TV and film to have a fun, chaotic scene to express something or move a plot forward. I asked you, If a food fight happened in your school, what would you do? Shut it down or join in? It's a very simple binary yes or no. Yes to the food fight or no to the food fight. That's what I'm asking.
Well, so
I know it never happens. It's not a real thing. It does not happen. As soon as a kid tries to start it, it gets shut down and that kid gets in trouble. They don't happen.
Yeah.
I get that. What would you do if a Max Keeble-esque food fight happened?
I know.
What would you do?
First of all, if I was in the cafeteria, which I probably wouldn't be, but if I was in the cafeteria, just so happened to be, and a food fight started, and, you know, who's to know what I would do in the moment? I'm sure I would, you know, with my fellow teachers, we'd shut it down. We'd be the fun police. Whoever would probably get suspended. I don't know. But would the temptation be there to just throw a plate of spaghetti? Yes.
I feel like
Have I ever had a food fight myself? No.
I feel like I could see you, knowing how much you love food fights and how, again, Asian of chaos you are, has previously been established in this episode, so that makes it canon now. I feel like at the very least, I could see you going in there and throwing a plate on the ground to break it loud, to make a loud noise.
Break the plate? What kind of...
Throw a
paper, plastic
plate on the
plates.
ground or a tray or something on the ground
They
to
don't
make...
have glass plates. Ceramic plates.
To
Okay.
make a loud noise to get them all to stop. So you can be like, we're shutting this down. So it's like you kind of participated because you like threw something and it made a loud noise and like stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like.
Well, we've got a little speaker thing, microphone.
Okay, so if I'm organizing a food fight as one of those
Grab the
kids, and I know
microphone.
I would be
Food
grabbing
fight!
it, it would be in my possession,
God.
or I would like take it and hide it and throw it away so no one could hear over the screaming kids and stuff. Like, yeah.
The world will never know.
Yeah, but again, I'm going to go on record and I'm going to vote and say that you would join in. Again, hit me up on Instagram, and once you hear this episode, at me, message me. Maybe I'll do a poll. Would Austin actually get into a food fight, or would she keep her job and shut it down?
Maybe I would just like throw just one
See, that's
mashed
what I'm saying.
potato.
You would throw something.
And then
you would throw something
shut it
down
down.
directly on the ground.
I'll
so
throw
you
it at the
didn't...
kid who started the food fight.
No. That's I was trying to keep you out of trouble. I was saying you would throw a tray down to make a loud noise, and then that would throw some food off of it, and you'd be like, I threw food in a food fight, and then you'd be like, okay, now that everybody's paying attention to the loud noise, shut the fuck up, shut down.
No,
we're done,
I would
we're
not
done.
hit a kid with food, obviously.
The
The temptation might be there.
Am I gonna have to edit this out of this episode? No. Okay, great. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so that's your main point, is there's a food fight. Let's go back to the main topic of conversation, which is Max Keeble's big
That's
move,
what I remembered
the
about the movie when I was a kid.
Okay, great. But now that we're talking about it now and we just watched it,
Yeah.
is that still the only reason that you think it's a good movie?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, then what else? I agree. The food fight scene's great. Food fight scene's always great. It moved the plot forward because it ruined the superintendent experience, which was bad for the principal, which was one of the people he was going for to be like, fuck you two and stuff. So I respect that. And like, yes, that fair point. The food fight scene is very good. It's a lot of fun, and it actually moves the plot forward. They don't move the plot forward all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just there. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, no, I think the whole movie is a lot of fun. Like, yes, there's some silly things. Like, there's
Obviously,
some things
the movie
that...
is fun. There's no one's disagreeing with that.
Yeah,
I
but
would
that's
say.
part of my reasoning of why I think that it's a good movie, especially for, like, middle school kids. I think it's a fun movie. I think that all their little pranks and stuff are very, like every kid's kind of thought about doing something like that. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Oh. Like, every kid's kind of thought about doing some of those things, and it just, like, it's fun to see it brought to life. But then by the end of it, like, there is a nice message that he learns, and, you know, it kind of all comes full circle. by the end. So I think it's a fun
so
movie.
what is
that
message and like?
we're gonna get straight into it. Okay, so
I mean, yeah, like you're saying, like I asked you
moment.
what was your next point, and you said,
well, that was just
there's
kind
a
of
good message.
Well, and overall, like,
And
it was a fun
asking-
movie that ended with like a good
And I'm
message.
asking you, what is that good message?
Okay, let me start you off with a quote from Max Keeble himself. It took a man with a plunger to make me realize I had to do something. I thought if I stood up to the bullies, but all I had done was a hit and run. That's not courage. That's courage. So, what happens is that, Max is thinking that he's about to move schools. He's like, I don't care. Let's blow up this whole thing. And so he goes after the principal. He goes after the bullies. He goes after anyone who has been mean to him in the past.
Yeah.
And he just fucks shit up, right? He realizes at this point he's not moving. And he's like, man, I have kind of ruined the school for my friends.
Yeah, his parents literally come in to be like, we're moving. And then they're like, we're not moving. And they're not relevant ever again. Which is kind of weird. But anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so he realizes, oh, we're not moving. I need to start fixing some stuff. And then he realizes that he's kind of made things worse for everyone in the school and his friends when he was trying to, like, get back at all these people who had been, bullies to everyone or who had the principal. Oh, terrible, terrible person. He's the worst.
Yeah. Again, part of the point.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like, oh, actually, I just did all this stuff to, like, mess things up for everyone. And I was about to leave and not take responsibility for any of it. Then he realizes, hey, I need to start taking responsibility for my actions. I'm going to stop making a face.
I was burping off mic. I'm sorry.
So he learns throughout this
when I'm
whole
making a face.
process to take ownership and accountability of his actions. He learns from his mistakes and realizes, who his true friends are. He stands up for what he believes in. They save the animal shelter, petting zoo. It doesn't get shut down. The bullies are not bullies anymore because he decides, you know what? Instead of treating the bullies like a bully, we're not going to be bullies ourselves. And we're just going to walk away.
Okay, so what's the message in one sentence? Because you said like a lot.
There's a lot of messages. There could be a lot of different messages. I think the main
I feel
one.
like there should be one main message.
Okay.
So
well,
what's the one main message?
Can I give you two?
No.
Okay.
It's my show, so I'm going to say no.
No, well, I'm going to give you two anyway. So
well,
I think.
I only want to hear one. I'll edit the other one out.
No,
so
he won't.
say
He's
it if
lazy.
you want. Oh, I'm not lazy for this. I'm lazy about cutting the grass. My wife is mad at me because I haven't cut the grass yet this week. Continue.
Okay. I think that the two main messages are that you should stand up for what you believe in and stand up for your true friends, but then also to take ownership and accountability of your actions and learn from your mistakes, which I think he does all of those things. And by the end of the movie, everyone, is happy.
Cool. I'm going to say Dadoy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah.
They have to have very obvious, in-your-face lessons.
Yeah, but the movie still needs to, like, make a modicum of sense.
It did.
Where?
Oh, the whole thing made sense.
The only thing that made sense was the pheromone thing. Just kidding. That barely made any sense.
That was a stretch.
Yeah, the whole movie's a fucking stretch. Like, in
Yeah,
that
they just do a
regard.
bunch of pranks, and then it all turns up like, oh, wow, he's fucked everything up, and then he goes back.
These
and he
pranks
takes
are
it.
fucking insane.
Yeah,
They
but no one said they were
literally
realistic.
dress up in, like, fucking metalworker jumpsuits to
What?
sneak into the fucking... They wear fucking, like, mechanic jumpsuits to sneak into the
Oh, yeah, they're
principal's
spy
at night.
outfits.
Excuse me?
They're spy outfits.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Like, there's a patch on the back that says, like, whatever city ironworks. Like, it's like...
That's irrelevant. They're in spy outfits with their, like, beanies and stuff.
Okay, so...
To disguise themselves.
Hold on. So, I'm saying that the insane part is... I'm so confused by you right now.
Why is that
saying
weird?
It's insane that these children are sneaking into a public school in a Mission Impossible style way to hack into a principal's computer and then drug him. And you think the only part that is... You're like, nah, that's not a big deal, whatever. The thing that I'm stuck on is their outfits.
Well, that's what you kept bringing up.
I was starting there. You didn't even let me get to the main thing. I just said the main thing. I'm just saying, they had... They weren't just wearing black. They had specific uniforms for, like...
They were undercover, Jacob.
Okay, I don't think you understand, like, my issue...
No.
And, like, what the problem is with this. The scene, the moment, the plot point in the movie, there's no way some fucking 7th graders are sneaking into a public school.
Well, obviously. No one said it was realistic. Plus, it was 2001. Schools didn't have locks then. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah, it was probably pre 9/11 when it was shot the year before, so 9/11 hadn't happened. Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
like,
I'm just saying that it's a movie and
Security
it doesn't have to be realistic.
Movies realistic are not realistic right now, i.e. any Fast and Furious movie that's ever been made. It doesn't matter what year it was. There's movies that are realistic and movies that are unrealistic and stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying that it doesn't have to be realistic.
I hate the Fast and Furious franchise because it's insanely unrealistic at this point. The first ones were like, yeah, they're just driving and they're drag racing and it's a drag racing drama. Now,
family.
Now they're superheroes and their superpower is driving cars good? That's insane.
Yeah, we're not talking about that though.
I understand, but these children are super spies in 7th grade? No, they're not.
They can be. Why not?
Because
this is every middle school kid's dream.
Yes, it's obviously hyperbolic and like great fantasy for a child.
This movie was made for children.
I understand.
They think it's cool.
I understand. I liked this movie when I was growing up, but even as a fucking child, I was like, this is a lot. Like, I swear to God, granted, I love Halloween
that was a lot. And then him doing a somersault, jumping from a trampoline over the fence onto the ostrich's back was fine.
No, that was also psychotic.
Exactly. It's all exaggerated. It's all just for fun. No one cares.
Okay, so
they made that so dramatic.
No.
They're not trying to make a realistic movie.
Okay, so here's my point, though. Here's part of my point is they establish at the very beginning, because the opening scene is a dream sequence where super hyperbolic and like super crazy stuff like that happens in the dream, and then he wakes up and then he's in the real world. Yeah. But then the movie continues to be he's doing those things in the real world.
He's living out his dreams, Jacob.
Okay, yeah, but like there's just no way he would physically, logistically be able to live his dream world out. That's the part that drives me crazy.
Okay.
They established that this would be crazy. This is obviously a dream. His kung fu fight with the ice cream man is clearly insane because it's a dream. And then he goes to do the exact same level of batshit crazy shit in the real world, including a backflip onto an ostrich off of not a trampoline, a tarp on the bed of a truck.
That makes it even cooler.
Which is not gonna have springs on it to make him bounce.
I think that's part of it. It is a flat
smack done.
No, I think that's part of it.
Jump.
Obviously that was a fake flip.
He jumps 20 feet in the air and does a backflip and lands dick and balls first onto an ostrich and just starts riding it. There's no world where that happened. And the movie establishes from the beginning he wants to live a crazy life and have these crazy kung fu-y action moments.
And he gets to do that.
He could not do that. And then they established that that's fake. This is the real world. And this is the real world he lives in. That's insane. Even for a child. That's insane, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously it's insane.
It's not Narnia where there is an actual magical world. It's not Harry Potter. There is actually magic where you can do these crazy stuff. It's the real world. And they tell us that in the world of the movie.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It just doesn't matter. Like, all of those crazy things that he does are just for fun. like it's not. They're not trying to make it seem realistic. They are
No.
very over exaggerating everything.
What I'm hearing is you're trying to say that what we're seeing is the. Hold on. Okay.
I'm just saying that it was exaggerated on purpose.
Stop. Hold on. So. So what I'm saying is, before you...
I don't think you know what you're saying.
No, I do know what I'm saying.
Oh.
Before you roll your eyes, I had to get my thoughts kind of in order, so I could relay this as quickly as possible. What you're saying is... Don't roll your eyes.
Oh my God. Spit it out.
Star Wars. Right? You with me? You
No,
still
I'm
with
not.
me?
I'm
All right,
not
she's
with
already
you.
lost. See, this is why I said don't roll your eyes.
Okay.
Star Wars, there's theories, speculation, ideas that so Star Wars is a mythology. It's a mythological tale that we're watching, right?
Sure.
No, not
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
The answer is
Yes.
yes, because
Yes.
that's George Lucas himself saying this is mythology.
Okay.
Right. Some people have the idea that we are hearing these stories. What we're seeing is R2-D2 telling us these stories thousands of years later. Hence why it starts a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Because R2-D2, he's a droid. He can live forever as long as people take care of him. He has memory banks. They can have that memory and stuff.
I think you're losing your point.
No, I'm not losing my point at all. I'm getting there.
Okay.
I said, please don't roll your eyes. Stick with me.
All right.
I'm not losing my point. And everything that happens in Star Wars is he's in every Star Wars major Skywalker saga movie. He's a major part of every single one, right? So the theory is like what we're seeing is his retelling of what happened. It's very over dramatized. It's a space opera. So it's very intense. It's very over dramatic. It's very crazy everything that happens, right? And awesome.
Okay.
But what do we have in this movie that is established near the beginning, as soon as he gets to school? What's the first thing that happens when him and his friends step onto the premises of the school?
They take a picture of him?
The school paper
Okay.
takes a picture of him, and there's the photojournalist taking a picture of Max Keeble,
I'm so confused.
and there's the student reporter writing about fresh meat coming to be bullied and stuff like that. And then throughout the movie, every major plot point, the reporter and the photojournalist are there,
Yeah.
and he's taking photos,
Yeah.
and the other kid is writing everything that happens.
So they are R2-D2.
They're the R2-D2 of
Wait,
this
that's
story.
what you mean? I'm so confused.
That exactly.
I was joking.
No, they're the R2-D2 of this story. He doesn't jump on top of the cars and do a backflip onto an ostrich and rides there. That's just what the kid wrote in the newspaper. So we're seeing it from his perspective. That's who's telling the story. Is the kid from the newspaper.
Wow, that took you
Right?
that took you too long to get there.
So
They're not main characters. They're very minimal side characters. But it makes it even cooler if that was the case. So you're arguing my point.
Does that make any sense at all?
No, it does make sense.
What I just said, that makes sense to you?
Sure.
No, that's psychotic what I just said. That's psychotic what I just said, because this movie takes place in the real world, not in a galaxy far, far away. That's insane. There's no way he would be able to do a backflip off of a fucking back of a truck onto an ostrich unless it was a fucking middle school fucking kid writing the story to make it rad as fuck. and
Okay,
stuff.
can we pause
That's
for a
insane.
second?
What?
You just took like 10 minutes to make up a story about Star Wars.
I didn't make up a story
and
about
R2D2,
Star Wars. I did not
and
make
you
that
tried
up.
to connect it to Max Keeble's big move, all to prove that.
What you're saying is insane.
No, you were trying to prove that the movie was too dramatic.
I was saying that,
And
yeah, the movie is...
The stunts were too crazy, but my whole point is that, yeah, obviously they're dramatic. Obviously they're outlandish. That's the point.
Exactly what I'm saying is the only way that makes sense is if there's a middle school kid writing the story, and that's who we're hearing the story from.
I mean, it was written for middle school kids. Basically the same thing. Anyways, let's move on from this because, yes, it has dramatic scenes.
No, that's insane.
They're fun. Yes, they're outlandish,
That's
but who
insane
cares?
that you just heard all of that and you went, yeah, cool, that makes sense. My point was, that's an insane thing to have to be the reason to that. That's an insane reason for the explanation to be the kid in the newspaper is writing the story, and that's what we're seeing, and that's why he's able to do all this crazy bullshit that would not physically be able to happen in a world that we have established is here's the dream world, here's the real world, but he does the same level of crazy in the real world.
Sure. I mean, I was like, yeah, that'd be cool if it was the middle schooler's perspective, but then I was like, but it's not.
It's the only way it makes sense, is what I'm saying. And so I'm saying, like, that's insane if that's the reason. And you're like, no, that's cool, that makes sense. Like, so what are we doing here? Like,
No, I'm saying that sure, it makes sense that it seems like
my
all
wife
those
disagrees
outlandish
with me
things,
all the time.
all those outlandish things could have been written by a middle schooler, sure, because they're outlandish. The movie was written for middle schoolers, so they're going to have these crazy stunts. They're going to have these like things that wouldn't happen in real life, and like obviously, I'm just saying that the whole movie has those things throughout it. And it's very aware of that. I don't think that whoever made the movie was like, oh, we're going to make this look as realistic as possible and make people think he actually could do this. No. No one thinks that. Like, I don't think that. No one thinks that.
But it establishes
It doesn't matter.
that there's that all this crazy stuff happens in his dreams, and then it
Yeah, and then
establishes...
he lives it out. Live out your dreams, babe. Move on. Move on.
No,
Move on.
No, I will not let this point go. We'll move on, but agree to disagree.
That's fine. I don't care. Yes, it's outlandish. Yes.
fine. What else you got? What else you got? Because that's my main thing. Is like
That was your main thing.
that's like that's it's insane. Like it's insane, and like I even as a child who watched this movie multiple times, like I knew this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, this is crazy. Like this is crazy. Like there's just
If
no
your
way. Like
main argument against the movie is that none of the things that they do, like pranks and stuff, could happen in real life, then that's not a good argument for why it's a bad movie, because it's obvious that none of those things could happen in real life. Everyone knows that who's watching it. The movie is not trying to tell you, oh, this is what you could do. Like, this is what's going to happen in your middle school. It's like a very over-the-top interpretation of like...
All movies are over-the-top interpretations of real life, yes, but like there are we're in a world of genuine actual physics and stuff. Like this is a movie that takes place in our world.
Sure.
So some of the stuff he's able to do doesn't make sense.
Okay. But I agree with you.
Okay, so like that,
But it
and
doesn't
that
matter.
No, that shatters the like world of the movie, which shatters which is not good, which is a negative point against the movie. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, it could be. I think it could be a negative point, but I don't think that could be your main point, because it's very obvious that is the case. What's your other points? Why else don't you like it? Ooh, he's got nothing to say. I think I just won. Who was your favorite character in the movie?
I didn't have one.
You didn't have a favorite character?
No, they all kind of suck.
Why, really?
Yeah, I didn't really... Max Keeble kind of fucking blows, dude.
He wasn't my favorite character. I liked his friend Megan.
Well, you
Fat
only liked her
little fashionista
because
here.
her little fashionista... Yeah.
No,
like,
and I liked her because she was the one who stood by him the whole time, and he learned, I know who my true friends are.
I mean, I guess
'cause
I
she's
like
always
her.
going to be there for
I
me.
guess I agree with that. It's like I agree
And
with
she made the
fact.
flyers to help save the animal shelter.
I mean, I guess I agree with that she's like the only one who like.
And she said, Max, you just
normal.
think you want to be cool. Who cares about being cool?
My favorite
we should be ourselves.
My favorite character is the science teacher. For sure.
Tell us why.
She's a fucking babe, dude. Oh my god, dude. You even said, besides her haircut,
oh yeah,
she's a fucking babe.
Yeah, she's hot.
Okay, so that's my favorite character.
I also loved the janitor. He was very not a major character, but let's give us his little one-liner that he gave
Again?
that changed Max's life.
Again?
No, I didn't tell that. I haven't said this one yet.
Right.
He said to Max,
quote,
any kid can make a mess, but it takes a man to clean it up.
End quote.
So.
Amazing.
There he goes.
So he's the best character because he's the moral compass somehow? Like, I don't know.
No, Max had already realized that he made a mistake. I
guess my whole rant about relating it to R2-D2 and Star Wars and like everything, it's just like the movie just like doesn't make a whole lot of sense kind of across the board.
Why?
I also think this movie, like, well, part of it is like this movie makes more sense in high school. Like, I don't think a 7th grader would like be this clever.
I completely disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I just like it just doesn't like the setting of it being like 7th grade and like junior high, so like middle school still, because like middle school's like till 8th grade. Like,
I love that this was in a middle school setting and not high school. I just feel like
it doesn't make it makes it feel a lot more unrealistic in my opinion. Like, yeah, like kids are clever and smart and do stuff, but like not to this extent. But like a high schooler is gonna do some fucked up shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like even even like as simple as like wanting to save the animal shelter and actually doing something about it. Like a 7th grader, like there's feel good stories in the news where like kids that young like actively try to help do something and stuff, but it's 1 in a million. Like, I don't know, like they're not like a high schooler is more likely to be active in their community and like actively try to help do something about something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then like again, in a high schooler is more likely to break into their fucking school to like do some bullshit like and stuff.
We've seen, I don't know, there's so many high school movies out there, like both of us named so many of them on our favorites list.
They're better.
But this movie, I do not think that it should have been set in a high school setting, because it would not have been like, this is just such a wholesome movie and it's so like cute, and it would not have been that if it was high school. Like you said, that one scene, you're like, oh, he's drinking a milkshake. This scene should be set when he's at like a high school party and he's like drinking beers while all his friends, whatever.
Yeah, no, they were
chugging milkshakes and it was cute as hell, and they were like dancing in a diner.
Yeah, okay, which is insane, because what diner would let children dance on their fucking tables?
Jacob, this is not realistic. It doesn't have to be. But it's wholesome and it's cute, and it's like, no, we don't need to see another played out high school party movie, whatever.
It's 2001, like when this movie came out. Like
it's been done. They're doing something different. They're taking it to middle school, and it's cute. At the end, when he realizes, oh, I think I like my my friend, my little Megan, a little style girl.
Sure.
And it's been her all along. Do they like have an intense makeout scene? No, they just hold hands and walk away. How cute.
I'm not even saying they need to completely like make out.
Also, there's no bullies like that in high school. Like, I don't know. It was all very like kiddish, like their problems.
I mean, sure.
Like it was very kid, like, oh, my lunch money. Like, oh, he's gonna like throw me in the dumpster. Like high school is not. High school kids are way too, like, they think they're too cool for all that.
Okay, but you're like, I'm talking something between this and Euphoria. You know what I mean? Like
Euphoria, oh my god.
Yeah, you can go somewhere in between, and I think it would be better. Euphoria, where they're like fucking each other's dads and like doing drugs and like guns are involved and shit. You can get somewhere like in between the middle school cuteness of it and like the intensity of Euphoria.
Let's keep the wholesomeness.
I'm saying we can go somewhere
with
a
our
little
little
bit more
middle
in between.
schoolers.
It would make a little bit more sense that he would be like, fuck the system, I'm gonna fuck shit up. Like, I can't imagine the 7th grader being like, I can get away with anything because I'm moving, and so I'm just gonna do all this fucked up shit.
No,
like,
I think that is exactly why he thought that, because he is young and like naive. He's like, oh well, I'm leaving anyways.
You mean like a junior, or like a fucking freshman in high school? Like that makes so much more sense. No, a freshman in high school is so much more likely to do that, in my opinion.
You put it in a high school setting. You involve alcohol. You involve drugs. All the things. It takes out the wholesomeness.
Not drugs,
it takes
just
out
beer.
the.
Just
okay, whatever. You said you wanted it to be like Euphoria.
No, I said I wanted it to be less than Euphoria. There's a spectrum of Max Keeble and Euphoria. I wanted it to be somewhere in, like, the middle. Left of center. So, like, closer to Max Keeble, but, like, set in high school.
Okay,
like,
so you get a Mean Girls. You get Sleepover. You get all those movies that we've seen. With a different plot. Same, like... things happening, high school stereotypes. They
literally do almost the exact same things, like to the principal and stuff. Like they drug him. They drug him.
They don't drug him. They put
the
smell stuff
in his mouth spray.
Yeah, so that the animals are attracted to him and that they attack him.
Why do you always come on into the defense of the people who drug people and stuff? Because we had this exact same conversation in John Tucker Must Die when they put estrogen in his protein powder, and you're like, "No, that's funny. That was cool and stuff." Like, no, that is, you fucking with somebody's body chemistry is not okay.
The drama.
What are we talking about? We're talking about movies. They're supposed to be more dramatic than real life. That's your point, not mine.
Yeah.
Okay? So now you want to back out on that point now that it's not convenient for you? How Republican of you.
Oh, God.
Wow. Cool.
No, I was saying that you were causing drama.
No. I was saying you, and I never did anything wrong. Please vote in November, guys.
Oh my God.
I just want to put that out there.
Don't call me a Republican.
Yeah, exactly. It's an insult, right? Don't forget, it's an insult.
Oh, shut up. So, not the point of anything.
It is the point of everything. I won't be able to do this podcast if we don't vote in November. The point is, you did just kind of go back on what you were saying and kind of contradict.
No, I didn't. I said that you are being dramatic.
No. Is that what you said?
Then what did I say?
You said what you said.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to just hear it back to find out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This movie is dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what movies are. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that in any way.
Jacob, we spent a whole 20 minutes talking about how you hated this movie because it was too dramatic and unrealistic.
No, I said unrealistic in terms of, like, physics and, like, what children would actually do. Again, if it was in high school, I would believe it a little bit more, which would make it a better movie if it was more believable and stuff.
Meh.
Because it's set in a world that is our world. Obviously, Star Wars is fucking insane and is not our world. But it takes place in that world where that's not insane. Ergo, it's lit as fuck and we love it and it's amazing. Right?
Yeah, sure. Star Wars is great. That's not the point of this debate. I'm saying Max Keeble's Big Move is a good movie because it's fun. It gives you fun little pranks and stuff. Yes, they are over the top. They are unrealistic to real life. It's a movie. That's what you want. It gives you a nice wholesome message at the end of it. Friendship, learning from your mistakes, being a better person. Everything, you know, those middle schoolers need to hear going through that tough time in their lives, you know? All the good messages with just a little bit of fun added in, messing with the teachers and
a little bit.
And you know, taking down the bullies. So
okay, I'm gonna just
I think it's a good movie. I'm gonna give it 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10?
Yeah.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's 85%. It's a solid B+.
Wow, okay.
What would you give it?
Like a 4? like it's a fun watch, sure, but like if we're gonna,
you heard it here first.
How dare you? Ugh.
What?
Ugh.
What?
You heard it here first.
You did. You heard Jacob say that this was a fun movie to watch.
Just like the newspaper kid in the fucking story.
Uh-huh.
Fucking saying whatever you hear and just writing it down and blowing it out of proportion. Which is, again, the only way that this world makes sense. Is if that's the story we're hearing. Is we are watching the reading of the newspaper article.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You get what you understood what I was saying with that, right?
Well, eventually, 10 minutes after your monologue.
I said, stay with me here.
Yeah, it was a stretch.
And please don't roll your eyes.
I rolled them. They're probably stuck in the back of my head right now.
As soon as I said, please don't roll your eyes, you started rolling them, which is a bad start.
An involuntary reaction.
And then I said Star Wars, and they went even further back. It's bad. Once we get this on video, like if you could look and see Austin's eyes right now, it's just I can't even see her irises or pupils. They are still. It is just like a zombie, ghostly white because she's been just rolled so far back. Maybe she'll recover. We'll never know.
The world will never know.
We'll never know, unless you hang out with us. If you want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I think this is gonna have to come down to the audience because I'm not gonna back down on this. I just it's a fun watch, but I just don't think there's other movies that are even specifically for this age group that make more sense and are better. Case in point, Alley Cat Strike. The drama is just as intense, but it's realistic. They're just bowling. They're just trying to be the better bowlers than the other kids. Luck of the Irish. Well, no, that one's actually that one is a mystical world though. It's established as that's a mystical world, so it's fine. You know, like
I think that your main counterpoint, like argument against this movie, is that the things that happen and the pranks that they do are too, like over the top and dramatic and non-realistic to like the real world. Since that is your only that was your only counterpoint. That, and you said you wish it was in high school, but that just changes the whole movie.
Fucking Josh Peck's character was not a complete total piece of shit.
I agreed with you on that one.
Like on purpose, and like that was disgusting. Honestly, like that's really annoying. And again, the only way it makes any sense is if it's because the principal is such a villain. It's like it only makes sense if it's from the perspective of the fucking kid writing the paper. He is so over dramatically a villain. It's insane. Yeah,
that's the point. They over the top everything. All of the stereotypes, all of the characters, all of the things.
Principals aren't like that.
Obviously, but kids aren't like that either. It's all over the top, and it's all do the shit it's all dramatic, and that's the kind of the point of the movie, and it's what makes it fun.
We're taking it to the
audience. That's fine. I just needed to remind everyone that you only had one valid counter argument.
I just want to remind everybody that Auston thinks that if it's cute and fun and sweet and it makes her feel good, then it's a good movie, even if it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, so you're saying that movies that you think make you feel good, that's not a valid reason to think it's a good movie, but that's the whole point of these type of movies.
Yes,
it's a feel-good movie. The nice, wholesome message and some fun pranks along the way.
Follow me on Instagram at Bad Movie Debate, all one word, all lowercase.
I think you have to say that every time.
I do, because people aren't doing it. People aren't following. They're listening, but they're not following. So I have to say it every time. At movie debate bad.
Nope,
that's not right. At Bad Movie Debate, all one word, lowercase. I was doing it good until you interrupted me. Follow me on Instagram at Bad Movie Debate, all one word, all lowercase. Not TikTok. I don't use Twitter. I'm not gonna call it X. Don't use that or anything. So this is the only way to find out about what I'm going on. And I'm also not 50 years old, so I don't use Facebook. So just Instagram to keep posted about anything, any happenings or anything that's going on and fun. Especially follow me on there so you can look out for the fucking poll for this episode. I like to do polls about what did the audience think about this movie that we just debated, and apparently this one has to come down to the audience because I will never agree with my wife about this movie.
That's fun.
That's fine.
That's okay.
Well, if this is the biggest argument we ever have as a married couple, I'll take it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It won't be. It's fine. That's not how life works. Because life is dramatic. Just like this movie, right?
The drama.
Are you referring to me or the movie?
I'll let you figure that out.
All right, let's vote on it. Yeah, do all that. Any shouts outs you want to do? I would know, but I don't think you have any. I'm doing this thing where I'm like the Hot Ones thing, where it's like, oh, anything you want to plug or anything? I've been doing that recently.
Yeah, no, I got no plugs. I got nothing going on this month. Actually, that's not true, but most of my life will be spent at the school because students start back next week. So
cool. So I'm going to say for Auston, go vote in November so that Project 2025 doesn't happen and she can continue to have a fucking job, because Project 2025,
shut up,
part
Jacob.
of that is wants to eliminate the education department of this country. So that's Austin's shout out. Wow, great important shout out. Go vote so we can avoid you not losing your job.
The drama. I do agree that everyone should vote. I'm not knocking that. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
See ya in September. Want to have a life again.
Bye.